where writers find ideas. WWFI. Number 2, Designer Knockoff. Writers have a million ideas, but how do they distill them into a cohesive book? This is part of my series tracing inspiration and thoughts that have come together for me, which I've used in my novels. I've often described Designer Knockoff, the second book in my Crime of Fashion Mysteries, as the heart and soul of this series because it explores my character Lacey Smithsonian's deep connection to her great-aunt Mimi Smith, who lived in Washington, D.C. during World War II and worked for the Office of Price Administration, which, among other things, oversaw rationing and investigating black market crimes. Mimi stars in her own story, which I will get to at some point, which serves as the prologue to the series, The Brief Luminous Flight of the Firefly. Designer Knockoff delves into Lacey's powers of deduction and detection and her love of the stories we tell through what we wear. Part of the inspiration came from a notorious disappearance in Washington, D.C. I was working as a journalist at the time, and a Capitol Hill intern went out for a run one day in the early 2000s. Her remains were discovered a year later. What I found fascinating was that her story upended everybody's idea of what really happened. The rest of the story, which blends wartime Washington with the present, came, as it usually does, out of a variety of ideas, from the famous wartime L-85 clothing regulations to nylon riots in department stores and an old news story in a trunk of vintage patterns and fashions. The story described a young designer, a friend of Lacey's aunt, who disappeared during the 1940s. She was about the same age as the intern. In the course of the research, I found wonderful tidbits, including that the government, which claimed all production of nylon stockings had ceased, lied. One factory was still producing nylons for the sole purpose of paying spies. Designer Knockoff involves a modern mystery that reaches back to a connected crime from World War II, a fashion dynasty from today, and how they are connected. I'm Ellen Byerrum, a mystery writer.